So one thing we need to realize, and again, I'm speaking here with not just the fiqh basis, but also knowing what we know about the virus and whatnot. When the CDC is saying that they are not recommending any groups larger than 10, we need to understand 10 is not a magic number, such that when you have 9, it becomes safe. And when you have 11, it becomes dangerous. What the CDC is trying to do is to minimize the casualties, if there are casualties. We need to understand the goal of the CDC. Of course, the CDC is the Center for Disease Control, right? And it is the national reputable organization that our government basically, it's a branch of our government that is telling us these regulations and guidelines. And we as Muslims need to be intelligent enough to understand that what they're saying is, what they're trying to do, if a person has the virus, then instead of that person walking into a room of 200 people and causing 200 casualties, let's minimize by causing only 10 casualties. That's what they're trying to do. Me personally, I am trying to avoid every single person. And I want everybody to do the same. I walked into the masjid, we have the AV, we have the security, we have you Murad, you can all testify. I wasn't within 3 feet of you. I didn't shake any of your hands. I'm not within any vicinity of anyone. For Jumu'ah today, one of the shuyukhs came, and again, it's human nature. He walks up to me, he puts his hand out. Wallahi, it broke my heart. I pulled my hand back and I laughed. I said, Sheikh Saab, you're forgetting, you're not supposed to be doing this. It hurts my heart. But this is what I'm doing as a precautionary measure, because I'm a person who reads and understands, what is going on. I'm not a biology expert, but at the same time, I'm not jahid about science. We know what this is. Read up how dangerous it is, how this disease is transferred. All you need to do is to have that droplet, come over to you and then touch your body and whatnot. We take reasonable precautions. And me personally, and I'll say this not as Sheikh Yasir, but as Yasir, your brother, I say it is foolish. I say it is foolish to come and mix in gatherings of 5, 10 people for no reason. You do what you need to do as the bare minimum. You need to go shopping for your family, okay, you go shopping for your family, you need to go. But even when you go, be careful, don't touch people, wash your hands when you come back. Do the bare minimum. If your work is requiring you to go whatever place you need to, then take reasonable precautions and do that. But don't go socializing. I'm bored as well. I'd like to go visit people's houses. We want to have people over. That is utterly foolish to do. I'm speaking again as your brother in humanity, not as a person of any ilm, just as another person who is reading up and understand what's going on. This is no joke, my dear brothers and sisters. This is no joke. This is a virus that is spreading at an exponential level. We honestly have never experienced a plague in our lives. Our predecessors would live through a few plagues. They knew the terror. They knew what happens. We are living a lackadaisical, cut off from reality. We don't understand. We really have a cockiness and an arrogance that is truly terrifying. And that is going to harm all of us. You know what my problem is? And again, for the last few days on Twitter and Facebook, I'm being attacked harshly by people who are irritated that I'm going against their mashayikh and I'm saying we should not have Jumu'ah, and their mashayikh say we should, and so they're saying that you're disrespecting our mashayikh because I'm saying that their mashayikh are wrong in this regard, and they are wrong. It doesn't matter what I say or not, they are wrong in having the position that people should have Jumu'ah. My issue is, those people that are congregating and they're still doing Jumu'ah, it's hurtful that they're going to harm themselves, but I'll be honest here. What is really painful to me is that their foolishness, and dare I say their stupidity, is going to harm the entire city, not just them. It's not just them that are going to be harmed. It's not just their families. If you understand the spread of the virus being exponential, if you understand that every person that is sick is going to spread it to maybe 10, 15, 20 people, and you do the math, and then you realize that that person is within our own Muslim community. England, the British government said the Muslim community is the #1 casualty of the coronavirus. It is the Muslim community that's going to suffer the most. This is what the government said. Do you want to know why? I will tell you why. Because we have, mashallah, the largest gatherings. We have, mashallah, the most extended families. We thank Allah. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah. Outside of this plague, we thank Allah that our masajid are packed. We thank Allah that we love our families. We thank Allah that we have love and care. But those issues are breeding grounds for the viruses. coming together and congregating and hugging and shaking. The government, the British government is saying the number one community that is going to be affected is the Muslim community of England. That's what they said, and they're absolutely spot on, because they understand that our culture, being as friendly and as loving as whatnot it is going to cause these issues. So I have to be honest here. I'm not in charge of this issue of whatnot. If I were in charge, this is private property and I would ban it. Simple as that. I don't care. I said this on Twitter. Get angry at me. Just don't mix with people. Curse me if you want. Just don't mix with people. Just stay at home. Don't go for Jumu'ah and Jama'ah. Be individually. As much as you want to say, I'm this, I'm that, go ahead. Let your anger out. I want to save lives. I want to save the ummah. I want to save people from getting this disease. And what I am telling you to do is the number one mechanism after putting our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will save us, and that is social isolation. Do not mix with people. Do not spread people. And dear Muslims, don't you read that up to 60%, maybe even 80% of the people who get this virus, alhamdulillah, they will not even be affected. But what will they do? They will carry the virus to their children, to their spouses, to their parents. They're going to carry it to their loved ones. They will be the mechanism. Today I got a text message from one of my own students that is in Canada on a life support now. 25-year-old man, but he has obviously some other complications. 90% of his lungs is gone. 90% is gone. And 10% remaining, the doctors don't know is he going to live or not. I know a person of our community, right? He had some minor issue before. I mean, generally speaking, in the 20s and 30s, if you're young, generally speaking, you will overcome. But if there's anything that you had a pre-existing condition, any type of, asthma or whatnot, it is very possible that this virus can come and take it to a whole different level. So, dear Muslims, don't be foolish. Don't act in a manner that is going to cause your own destruction or the destruction of your loved ones. Mixing with other human beings at a close proximity, this is the number one cause of the spread of the virus. Therefore, stay away from people, have a healthy distance, and it doesn't make sense for you to be coming to the masjid and interacting with people. And now that we've shut the masajid, what are some people doing? Alhamdulillah, it's not in our community, but in other communities I know, they're going to be praying in the parking lot, I've heard. I've been told that they're going outside and standing outside the door and having mini jama'at as a type of anger that the masjid shut down, I don't care, I'm still going to pray here. And we have to deal with this. Frankly, it is foolishness. It really is foolishness, and allow me to say it because it is true. It's an arrogance, that this assumption that if we do this, then Allah is going to be happy with us. And Allah is not happy with foolishness. I know our time is up, but I said this hadith before, I'm going to say it again. And then inshallah, I guess with this we conclude. The famous hadith was in Abu Dawood, where this same attitude was found amongst a companion when his companion friend fell sick, or he had a head injury, the blood was coming from his head and it's gushing out, and he had to do ghusl. And he asked his companion, what should I do? Do I have to do ghusl or not? And this bleeding and it's festered. You're supposed to keep it dry. It's a middle of the desert. There's no medication, nothing. And his companion said to him that, oh, if you have to do ghusl, I don't see any concession. Allah has made it obligatory. You have to do ghusl. Go jump into the river. The guy jumped in, the well that was there. He jumped in and his festered wound became much worse and he passed away and he died. When they got back to Medina, the Prophet ﷺ got so angry at this person, he actually uttered a curse. He said, قَتَلُوهُ قَاتَلَهُ اللَّهُ. This man killed him. May Allah curse him. This is in the hadith in Abu Dawood. Your ignorance and your stupidity and your foolishness by thinking that the Sharia does not allow for any laxity. If he has to jump in and do ghusl, go ahead and do ghusl. You didn't know fiqh, which is why we see the difference between the real ulama, the fuqaha, the ulama rabbaniyun. Look at the councils of Saudi Arabia, of Kuwait, of United Emirates, of Morocco, of Turkey, of Malaysia. All of these councils with ulama that have spent not 20, 30 years like I have, 40, 50, 60 years of their lives studying fiqh, all of them unanimously saying, let us shut the masajid down. Now we have some young man or some uncle who's never studied Islam except for a khutbah or two, and he or she thinks they know Islam better than these great ulama, and they want to show that they know Islam. Ya akhi, then you're not just going to cause problems to yourself, you're going to cause problems to your family and your community and to all of us. And that is why I keep on telling you, oh people, if you have someone in your family that wants to do this, let them get angry at you. If you're able to physically stop them and tell them, do not go, stay at home, don't do this, then go ahead and do that. because this foolishness of walking around and being with the public. And you know, there was on NBC, or was it, or ABC, whatever, these young college kids in what is it, Florida, they're going to the spring break, right? And they're being interviewed, and they're saying, I don't care if the coronavirus comes. And today, there was an article or a thing that one of them went back home, fell sick, is on the ventilator, and now he is saying, you know, that please listen to me, don't act foolishly, you know, I can't breathe, I'd give my eyes to be able to breathe now. I'll give my eyesight up if I can have a full breath, because he cannot breathe now. This is stupidity. And I'm sorry to be so blunt here. Those people that are wanting to pray in the masjid, they're just as foolish as those teenagers that want to go to spring break in Florida and thinking nothing is going to happen. It's the same mentality. I don't care, I'm going to do it. Our sharia is not asking us to be foolish. We tie our camel and then we put our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And intermixing with the public is not tying our camel, it is acting foolish. And that is as blunt as I can be. And if you want to get angry, please get angry at me, but stay at home. That's my advice to you.